Shalom. This week I'd like to tell you a story about Netanel. Netanel couldn't believe how blessed he was. He had a choice between two different job offers. Both were excellent. One offered an amazing salary with a high-ranking position, the other tremendous benefits, including a rent-free, beautiful home with a rewarding job. He knew there was only one place to go to decide and think through his decision, and that was the kotel. As Netanel sat at the kotel, he noticed a chumash on the chair next to him. He opened it to this week's Sedra and read of the plague of the locusts. In this week's Sedra, Hashem recorded, the locusts ascended over the entire land of Egypt, and they spread throughout every border of Egypt. The plague was very severe. Prior to the plague, there was never such a locust plague, and after it, there never will be one. Netanel looked at the lower half of the page, where Rashi's commentary was included, and read that a verse in Yoel contradicted the verse he just read that said that the plagues of the locusts in Egypt weren't going to be replicated. The verse in Yoel states, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of cloud and thick darkness, like the dawn spread over the mountains, a numerous and mighty people, the like of which has never been, and after there shall be no more until the years of the generations. This verse says that there were times after the Egyptian locusts where a plague that was worse than the locusts actually occurred. In his commentary on the verse in our Sedra, Rashi explained the contradiction and wrote, the plague mentioned in Yoel is more severe than the plague in the days of Moshe, because the one in Yoel's time was composed of many species of locusts that were together. But the locust plague of Moshe consisted of only one species, and its equal never was and never will be. Netanel thought about Rashi's answer and understood that there was actually a reason to think the plague of the locusts in Egypt was worse, because in Moshe's plague, one species of locust did tremendous damage, worse than the damage in Yoel's time. An argument can be made that the locusts in Yoel's time were worse because the image of so many different species of locusts was so overwhelming, it seemed to make the plague much harsher. Netanel realized that the discrepancy between Moshe and Yoel's plague of locusts was the difference between image and effect. The locust plagues in Egypt focused on the effect, while in Yoel's time it was on the image. Netanel recognized that image and effect were also the difference between the two job offers as well, and one has to sometimes decide between image and effect. Hope this week's Parsha, this week's Sedra, this week's lesson applies and seems relevant in your life as well. Shabbat Shalom.